Sometimes, the most dangerous monsters live among us. This is the story of Sarah Cole, a woman whose name once meant joy, kindness, and light, until the shadows closed in. What you're about to hear is one of the most disturbing cases of psychological torment and physical abuse ever recorded, and the scars, they linger far beyond what the eye can see. These aren't just stories, and they're real lives torn apart by secrets. We dive deep into chilling disappearances, unsolved crimes, and the truths buried beneath the surface. Because in the world of true crime, nothing is ever as it seems. And the ending? It will stay with you. Subscribe, share, and join us as we unravel every hidden clue. Sarah Cole was 23, a volunteer at the local shelter, a bright-eyed graduate with dreams of becoming a teacher. Friends described her as sunshine in human form. And then, she met Daniel. He isn't tall, charismatic, the kind of man who could charm a room with a smile. He swept Sarah off her feet, and within weeks, she was his. It started small. A disapproving glance when she spoke to another man, a grip on her wrist just a bit too tight. Then came the persuasion. Move in together, quit your job. Let me take care of you, he said. And little by little, her world grew smaller. Behind closed doors, Daniel controlled everything. What she wore, what she ate, when she slept. Her friends drifted away. Her family calls unanswered. Sarah told herself, he just loves me so much. That's all. But love shouldn't hurt. Neighbors heard the fights, the crashes, the cries. But Daniel, he was polite, friendly, a model citizen. Sarah appeared at the door once, pale, trembling. Just a misunderstanding, Daniel laughed. And so the silence continued. Burning, cutting, starving, Daniel's cruelty knew no limits. Sarah tried to run, once. He found her before she reached the end of their street. She wrote in her diary, "There is no way out. If I leave, he'll kill me. If I stay, I'm already gone." One day in the shop, Sarah slipped a note to the cashier. "Please help. He's hurting me." The cashier called police, but Daniel charmed them. "She's fragile, that's all." The officers left. Any small thing set him off. A dish out of place, a message from her mother, boiling water on her skin, broken glass beneath her feet. But still, Sarah survived. A cold February night. Drunk, Daniel passed out. Bleeding, barefoot, Sarah ran, banged on doors, until Elsie, a kind neighbor, took her in and called police. Police sirens faintly in background. When officers arrived, the horror was undeniable. Months in hospital, a long trial. Daniel was sentenced to 18 years. The judge called it one of the worst cases this court has ever seen. But Sarah's journey, far from over. New name, new town. A new start. But at night, she still hears his voice, still checks the locks over and over. And then, the letter came. No return address, one line. Familiar handwriting. Did you really think this was over? It arrived on a rainy Monday morning. No return address. Plain envelope. Inside, one handwritten line. 7 words. But they were enough to send Sarah's heart racing. Did you really think this was over? The handwriting? Daniel's, without a doubt. Sarah's hands shook as she reread the words. She locked every door, drew every curtain. She called the police. But without proof Daniel sent it, they could do nothing. Daniel was behind bars, wasn't he? Or had someone else sent it? Someone on the outside? Someone watching? Sarah began noticing things. A parked car outside her house, same one night after night. Footsteps outside her window at 2 a.m. A shadow crossing the road just as she returned home. She felt the weight of unseen eyes every waking moment. Determined not to let fear consume her, Sarah reached out to a victim's advocate. Together, they requested a prison check. Daniel was still inside. But then who? 2 weeks later, another letter. This one even shorter. Soon. No address. No fingerprints. No answers. Police began watching the property. They questioned former friends of Daniel. Had anyone been contacting him in prison? And that's when they uncovered something Sarah could never have imagined. Daniel had been writing letters, dozens of them, to one person on the outside, a woman who had visited him every month. Her name? Clare Jennings, a woman who'd met Daniel through a prison pen pal scheme. She believed Daniel was innocent, that Sarah had lied, that it was her mission to set things right. And now she was watching Sarah. Claire had moved to Sarah's town, rented a flat just 2 streets away. She followed Sarah's every move. The letters, the parked car, the footsteps at night. All Claire. But what was she planning? Claire wasn't just watching. Police uncovered journal entries, maps of Sarah's neighborhood, notes about her routines, and one chilling phrase repeated over and over. She doesn't deserve to be free. One night, Sarah returned home. Her front door was ajar, the lock broken. Inside, the house was eerily silent. Her breath quickened. On the kitchen table, a knife. And beside it, a final note. "This ends tonight." Sarah froze, the words on the note burning into her mind. Her heart pounded in her ears. Every instinct screamed, "Run!" But where? The door was her only exit. And what if Claire was out there? A creak. From the hallway. Not imagined, real. Sarah grabbed the knife. She didn't want to, but tonight she had no choice. Claire stepped into view. Messy hair, wild eyes, clutching something in her hand, rope. Her voice, soft, almost kind. "You ruined his life," she whispered. "Now you'll feel what he felt." Claire lunged. Sarah stepped back, slashing the air. The blade grazed Claire's arm, not deep but enough. Claire screamed, fury replacing calm. They struggled, crashing into furniture, knocking over a lamp. Darkness swallowed the room. In the chaos, Sarah broke free. She ran, barefoot, terrified, out into the street. Neighbors heard the screams. Lights flicked on. Doors opened. Claire, bleeding and panicked, fled into the night. Police arrived within minutes. Sarah, shaking, told them everything. A manhunt for Claire began, but by morning, she had vanished. And with her, the certainty of Sarah's safety once again disappeared. Sarah's locks were changed. Alarms fitted. But sleep no longer came easily. Every knock at the door, every passing shadow, brought memories of that night flooding back. Days turned into weeks, then another letter. No address, no name. Just 5 words. "You can't hide forever. The nightmare isn't over." Sarah survived the night Claire came for her. But survival was just the beginning, because Claire, Daniel's obsessed follower, had vanished. The police launched a manhunt. Roadblocks, CCTV footage combed, airports alerted. But Clare Jennings had disappeared without a trace. Or so it seemed. Days after the break-in, reports trickled in. A woman matching Claire's description spotted at a petrol station way 50 miles north. Another sighting near a rural bus depot. Each time, by the time officers arrived, she was gone. Sarah was moved to a safe house. Police officers stationed outside. Every door reinforced. But inside, Sarah felt the walls closing in. The nightmares returned. And every night, the echo of Claire's voice. "You can't hide forever." Then came the discovery. An abandoned rental cottage linked to Claire. Inside, maps of Sarah's new location, surveillance photos, and a journal. Page after page of twisted devotion to Daniel and hatred for Sarah. The final entry read, "The next time, I won't fail." One night, a motion sensor triggered at the edge of the property. Officers found footprints leading toward the house, then disappearing into the woods. A glimpse caught on thermal imaging. A figure fleeing deeper into the dark. Sarah knew. Claire was near. The question wasn't if she'd return. It was when. And then, another message. Etched into Sarah's window in the frost of a winter's night. Tonight. In the dead of night, Sarah Cole stared at her window. Frost covered the glass. Etched into it, one word, tonight. Claire had promised this would end. And now, the final chapter of Sarah's nightmare was about to begin. Sarah didn't sleep. She stayed by the window, the kitchen knife in hand, every muscle tight with fear. Outside, darkness pressed against the glass. And then a sound. A soft knock. Once, twice. The back door creaked open. Police stationed outside rushed in. Too late. Claire was already inside. Face pale, eyes wide, a rope in one hand. A cold, determined smile. Claire lunged. Sarah fought back, the kitchen knife flashing in the dark. A scream echoed through the house. Furniture toppled. An officer burst through the door as Claire raised the rope. A single command, drop it. Claire froze. The spell of rage broke. She dropped the rope, trembling. Officers tackled her, handcuffed her, led her out into the night. And just like that, it was over. Or so Sarah thought. At the station, as Claire sat in silence, officers processed the evidence. A letter was found in Claire's pocket, addressed to Daniel. Its contents? A chilling confession. I did everything you asked. She can't hurt you now. I kept my promise. And with that, the terrifying truth emerged. Daniel, from behind bars, had orchestrated the entire campaign of terror. Claire was his weapon, his loyal follower, his reach. Far beyond prison walls, Daniel faced new charges. Claire was imprisoned, her obsession finally contained. And Sarah? She rebuilt once more. New home, new identity. But the scars, emotional and physical, would remain. Sarah's story is a reminder that survival doesn't end when the violence stops. It's a long road, one of strength, resilience, and hope. And for those still trapped in the shadows, help is out there. You are not alone. Daniel Marks was behind bars. Clare Jennings imprisoned for her crimes. But for Sarah Cole, freedom didn't mean peace. Because what no one realized, and not yet, was that Daniel's web of control stretched deeper, much deeper, and Sarah's nightmare wasn't over. For a time, Sarah tried to live. She moved again, changed her name, joined a survivor's support group. Every night she checked the locks. Every morning she wondered, could this be the day the past lets me go? Then the investigation uncovered more. Daniel hadn't just written to Claire, he'd written to others, other women, other followers. Each letter filled with the same poison. Lies about Sarah, claims of betrayal, demands for loyalty, and promises, if you love me, protect me. Finish what Claire started. Months after Claire's arrest, Sarah received a call. A voice low and unfamiliar. You can't run, Sarah, he's everywhere. The line went dead, and with it, Sarah's fragile sense of safety shattered once more. Soon after, the signs returned. A figure seen at the edge of her property. A car parked across the street. Engine idling for hours. Another letter slipped under her door. 5 chilling words, you'll see me soon. Authorities acted swiftly. Extra patrols. Surveillance cameras installed. But whoever was watching was careful. Too careful. And then one night, a package arrived. No return address. Inside, a single item. Sarah's old diary. The one she'd hidden long ago. And on the final page, scrawled in red ink, you can't escape the past. Sarah Cole thought she'd faced every horror. Daniel imprisoned, Claire behind bars. But the package, her stolen diary, the message scrawled in red, proved otherwise. The past wasn't done with Sarah, and now, the shadow stalking her was ready to step into the light. Police analyzed the package. No fingerprints, no DNA. But the diary, pages worn, stained with tears, and was unmistakably hers. And the message, you can't escape the past. Written in the same jagged handwriting as the earlier notes. But this time, there was something else. A small scrap of paper tucked between the pages. An address. And 2 chilling words. Find me. Police set a plan in motion. Plainclothes officers staked out the address. A derelict house on the outskirts of town. Hours passed, and then a figure appeared. Hood up, walking slowly, unaware they were being watched. Officers moved in. The figure froze, tried to run, but it was over in seconds. The hood was pulled back, and what they saw left even the officers stunned. It wasn't one of Daniel's other pen pals. It wasn't a stranger. It was someone Sarah once called a friend. Tom Rivers, a neighbor, a man who'd once comforted her, who'd offered help, and who'd been watching her all along. Tom had been there from the start. He'd gained Sarah's trust, and slowly, quietly, he became obsessed. When Daniel went to prison, Tom saw his chance to play hero, to control her fear, to make her need him. The letters, the packages, the sightings, all Tom. All part of his twisted game. But at Tom's home, police found more. A wall covered in photos of Sarah, copies of her old keys, and one final unfinished letter. When you finally come to me, we'll be safe. Together forever. But the most chilling discovery? Evidence that Tom had been in contact with someone on the inside. Danielle, the nightmare, wasn't over. Tom Rivers, a man Sarah once trusted, A man who turned protector into predator. And behind him, the same force that began this nightmare, Daniel Marks. Now, police were about to uncover the full, sickening plan. Before it was too late, prison records revealed what Sarah feared most. Tom and Daniel had exchanged letters for months. What began as a sick fan's admiration became something darker. A pact. Daniel's words, "You can do what I couldn't. Bring her back under control. Make her see the truth." Tom's reply, "I'll finish it for you. She'll belong to us." Police learned Tom had been preparing for months. He'd rented a hidden cabin deep in the woods, stocked it with supplies, drawn up routes to move Sarah there, to vanish her forever. In his twisted mind, it was their future. But police acted fast. With Sarah's help, they staged a decoy move, making it appear she'd left town. Tom took the bait. He broke into what he thought was her safe house, only to find officers waiting. No more running. No more shadows. It was over. At trial, Tom's full obsession came to light. His walls lined with Sarah's photos, recordings of her voice. And hidden in his notes, one more terrifying revelation. He wasn't the only one Daniel had written to. There were others. Other followers. Other plans. And as Daniel sat in his cell, he smiled. Because in his mind, the game wasn't over. It would never be over. Sarah moved one last time. New identity. New beginnings. And this time, she vowed to never look back. Her scars remain, but so does her strength. And though Daniel's shadow lingers, Sarah's light shines stronger. Sarah's story is a chilling reminder. Monsters can wear friendly faces, but survival isn't just about escaping them. It's about reclaiming your life, no matter how dark the past. If you or someone you know is living in fear, reach out. Help is out there, and hope is stronger than any nightmare. If you believe in uncovering the truth and standing for justice, we'd love your support. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your voice matters, and you help make this community stronger. We'll be back with another case, right here on Unraveled Crime.